Yo, what's up guys? JT Skinner over at Skinner Speed and Performance. I just want to make a quick video for you guys. I know the topic of RZR seats and Terex has been a popular one. Some people have them and they're done fairly well. I just want to show you how I'm doing mine. I'm doing them a little bit differently. Some people are just using seat backs. That is a popular way to go because you can still remove the cushions. This way you have to remove the whole seat in order to access the fuel tank, fuel pump, your oil level, your oil fill, all your services. You'll have to pull 4 bolts. Not really a big deal in my opinion, especially if you get to use the lower cushion of the RZR seat. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing to mine and what I have done so far, and then you guys decide for yourselves what you want to do. I'll be honest, after a lot of measurements, I'll give you all the info if you want to just message me. After a lot of measurements, I've gotten these things to where they're so comfortable. I've actually changed the ergonomics of the frame just a hair. It's just by drilling a couple extra holes, and it changes the whole feel of your machine. So it's totally different than what you're expecting. Gives you a lot of leg support, makes you feel like you're sitting in the machine rather than on the machine. A lot more supportive, a lot more confidence inspiring. So I'll shoot some video of what I have done and what I'm in the process of doing, and then I'll have some pictures to go with that too. So yeah, let me know what you think. All right, so this is what we have so far. These are the RZR frames that come with it. I did not modify the Terex seat frame. I mean, actually I did modify one to make it fit, and I really wasn't happy with the way it came out. It wasn't strong, it wasn't pretty, and it didn't really accomplish what I was looking to do. So RZR seat frame. If you buy a set of seats from eBay, all the takeoffs come with frames. They don't come with bases, but don't be discouraged by that. You don't need a base, you just need the frame. It's not anything super serious. It's such a simple frame. It's easy to work with. It's just steel. It's not aluminum. You don't have to worry about any fancy welding techniques or anything like that. So yes, I did do all my own welding. I did my own fabrication. I did all that fun stuff. So what you will notice here, very first thing, I dropped my seat mounts. So these are flush with the top tube. You can actually see that there is no rise outside the plastic there. So I dropped these in order to make up a little bit for the height of the RZR seats. So I flushed them. You can notch frame and everything else. This is fairly straightforward and took me, I think, probably like a solid hour from beginning to end to cut them all, grind them down, weld them up, and paint them. And then it made a big difference right off the bat. Even with the stock Terex seat, it made a big difference. So now we're working on installing the RZR seats. So in order to make this bad boy strong, there is no support bar like the RZR seat has that locks the cushion in place. So it's kind of open and just kind of like flops free. So I really wanted something strong and supportive. So I used, this is, what is this? This is 1/8 inch thick flat steel, 2-inch. It's not really anything out of the ordinary. I drilled them to be able to be adjustable. So they're 1 inch off of each other in the hole. So you can actually slide the seat forward 1 inch, move it back 1 inch. I only did that because my wife and sometimes my oldest son drive that, and they're about the same height. So for the time being, it'll suit them really well. So I used the factory Terex base to space my holes properly. I then drilled my holes. I checked them on the Terex machine itself. And then in order to keep this as low as possible, which I'll show you pictures of later on, what I did was I actually notched the bottom of this frame from here forward so that the frame would actually lay on, or this bracket would lay inside the frame and just be flush with the bottom tube of the frame itself. And it worked really, really well. So I laid it on there. I marked it where it needed to be, brought it back to the bench, put it back in there, clamped it, cleaned it up, and welded her up. And she's really strong. So now the rear is a little bit of a different story. Now I could go full length like I did in the front. It's not really going to make a big difference, but I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to lay steel back here and waste a bunch of material. This is more for support than anything. The back is just to hold the back of the frame down. So what I did here is I created a bunch of these 2.5 inch wide by 2 inch steel brackets. I drilled them with the same pattern as the front, and I actually am bolting them down right now. And if you look closely, you can see paint marks there. That is where I will be notching the back of this frame. And I'm going to notch the back of the frame. There's the paint marks on that one. And then I will be doing the same thing. So I'll be leaving these in here. I'm going to notch this, bring it back over here, clamp it in place, you know, double check my marks, my fitment, take it over to the bench, weld it up. And then this frame will be ready to bolt in. You'll be able to just bolt it in, call it good, rock and roll. Now, the RZR seat frames, I mean, we're Terex guys, so this is information you may have, you may not have. The seat backs are adjustable for height, 3 different positions. All of them are comfortable. Depends on what kind of riding you're doing, really. If you want the headrest up near your head, use the highest hole. I like the medium and the low. It actually gives you a little bit of lumbar support once this is all said and done. And it's very comfortable, but you can figure out what suits you best. Now, as for the cushion initially went in this hole here. This is the rearmost hole, and then this would be the front. So what I did was, after some hemming and hawing and you know, messing around with what I had, I decided that moving the cushion itself forward an inch would allow me to slide back into the seat a little bit and have the seat actually cup you rather than force you forward. RZRs are already tilted back to begin with. These sit far more upright, especially because I dropped both these mounts front and rear. So when this frame sits flat, it kind of kicks you forward. So with these cushions forward, gives you forward leg support, so closer to your knee on the bottom of your thigh. It keeps your legs from flailing around, so it holds you in with the side bolsters of the cushion some. And it's extremely comfortable. It's so much more comfortable with this cushion 1 inch forward. Now, you can get more of an effect by putting the seat back up higher, because it creates a gap between the cushion and the seat back, so you can slide back a little bit further. So this is where we stand right now, and I actually have all the pieces ready to go for the passenger side frame as well. But before I do that, I'm going to lower those seat mounts too. So let me know what you think, guys, and I'll come back at you with some finished pictures. All right, later.